Welcome back to Hardly Working. It's been a week. What a crazy bunch of videos I've totally filmed already and know how that went, but we're back. So today we're going to be talking about Who Framed Roger Rabbit. This was a personal favorite of mine from my childhood. If you don't know what this movie is, that is unfortunate. I'm going to give this one another 10 out of 10 just off the bat. And that's because I can't think of anything wrong with it, honestly. I mean, you can kind of tell that it's dated because the animation mixing with the live action isn't perfect, but I gotta tell you, it looks a lot better than the Star Wars prequels, which came out 10 years later. And I think a big reason for it is, as I understand it, when filming Roger Rabbit, they started with the live action scenes and then drew the animation to fit where the actors' eyes were going, as opposed to Star Wars, where they decided where the characters were going to be and tried to make the actors act off of it. Obviously, that didn't work as well. So start with the actors and build the cartoons around them, because clearly that works a lot better, at least in my opinion. I think it also says a lot about the acting ability of Bob Hoskins, who played Eddie Valiant, since he was able to amazingly play a guy who was getting thrown around by cartoons. I mean, he was fun. Again, I gotta recommend this movie. I watched this as a kid. I think it's crazy it's PG and not PG-13. Admittedly, I think I did the math, and it came out like 5 years after PG-13 was initially put out there. And I'm guessing because it's a combination of Disney and Warner Brothers that has something to do with why it got a PG rating. But whatever the reason, it ended up as more kid-friendly as an audience, and absolutely let your kids watch it. But if you're an adult, absolutely watch it, because it's a great movie. It has some incredible points, I believe, about racial tension issues. I think it's a really cool period piece. I believe it's set in the 40s, is what I think it said when I looked it up. And yeah, I mean, it's really cool. It's really cool, guys. So again, we're gonna start hitting that spoilery stuff. So I guess that's all you can watch if you don't want to have anything potentially ruined for you. Just know it's a great movie, and I think you should watch it. Now that we're hitting that spoilery stuff, let's talk about some things. So Judge Doom, huh? I mean, what a guy. Let's go straight for the ending, I guess. The reveal that he's actually a toon, and his whole plan was to eliminate the other toons to build Freeway. I think some things I like about this ending are that Judge Doom ultimately wins, even though he's taken out by his own dip, which, what a Chekhov's gun. If you don't know what Chekhov's gun is, as I understand it, it's when a weapon is introduced at a point in the movie and it ends up being the pivotal, it becomes the item that saves the day, is the point. So dip was introduced as the only thing that can truly kill a toon. We find out Doom is a toon, and he ends up melting in his own weapon that he was going to use on other toons. Creative, I mean, it's not, again, the most original ending, but I like it nonetheless. I think Christopher Lloyd did a great job playing a madman who turns out to be a cartoon. I'm not gonna copy it because I don't want to adjust my mic, but that whole, do you remember me, Eddie, when I killed your brother and I talked just like this? I will absolutely go into that high-pitched voice every now and then to mess with my friends. I don't know why. There's never a reason for it, but I do it because it's fun. Yeah, Doom had a lot going on as far as cartoon powers. He had an anvil hand that could turn into a saw blade. His feet could go springy. He had those eyes that could turn into daggers. He's got a cartoon voice that can apparently sound normal. I mean, he had a lot more going on than pretty much any other toon we saw, which is kind of crazy. And who would ever imagine? I mean, I guess we don't know where the toons come from, if they're bred or drawn or made by. I was assuming it was kind of like a Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends situation where somebody imagines a cartoon and they just came into reality. But I'm not going to claim to really understand the process. So what I wanted to say, before I got dreadfully off track there, is Doom 1. Freeways happened. We absolutely built lifestyles around them. And I know that's kind of part of the joke, but it's just interesting to see a story where it's a happy ending because Toontown wasn't destroyed. And it's like, right, Toontown wasn't destroyed, but in the future, you still end up with all those freeways and businesses built around selling stuff off of those freeways. It's kind of funny, I guess, in a dark way, which is sort of my favorite humor. So that was really cool. I think that the whole setup for Eddie's dance at the end to Merry Go Round has broken down. I don't know if that's the exact title of it. I think that was great. You know, they set it up subtly at first with pictures of him and I call his brother Teddy. I know it was Theodore, but I figure Teddy and Eddie, just really, really great names. The two of them in their picture from their precinct as cops, where they've got clown noses, and you could see them when they were kids. They worked in the circus, so it's like they're showing you, hey, he's got a background as a performer. And throughout the whole thing, he's just taking hits from tunes all over, and he walks away from it because he's clearly trained in physical comedy is part of his character. And then in the end, he gets beat up by bowling balls, shocked by electricity. And honestly, rewatching that scene, all I could think was, why wasn't he in Home Alone? I mean, maybe he wanted more money, or whoever was making those movies never thought about him, but I gotta tell you, you chose wrong. He clearly had what it took to be an excellent bad guy in Home Alone. I really think that it would have been hilarious to watch him get beaten up. Him, if there's ever a revival of Home Alone, I think I saw something that looked like a thriller Home Alone story. I don't know if that was a joke or not. Neil Patrick Harris is what I'm getting at. Having watched Dr. Horrible many times, he takes a punch like a champ, and he's hilarious to see getting beat up. So just keep some people in mind for those films, all right? I know Bob Hoskins can't anymore because he's unfortunately passed away, but he, was really, really good for the things I've seen him in. I guess I can't really get away with not talking about Jessica because she's gorgeous, and in conversations about cartoon waifus, again, if you don't know, it's essentially saying from an animated perspective, usually anime, but my friends like to draw upon Disney Pixar, all kinds of cartoons, really. Video games as well. My go-to has always been Jessica Rabbit. I don't even care if she's not technically a princess. She's my favorite Disney princess. Disney was half involved with the production, so absolutely Jessica Rabbit. She's gorgeous and also really fun. I like that she takes action without necessarily saying what she's going to do. She's strong. There's something very appealing about a woman who could knock me out with a frying pan. I don't know why. It's just kind of fun, I guess. And I like that her relationship with Rogers because he makes her laugh, She's not looking for the most attractive man or the strongest man or the best providing man. She just wants somebody who can make her laugh. And as somebody whose best what he's got going for him is in person, I can make a person laugh. I can't guarantee that these videos are going to do justice to my sense of humor. That's great. I think that Jessica Rabbit also probably had something to do with why I think red hair is best hair. I mean, I like all hair types. Do not get me wrong. Hair is awesome. But red is just gorgeous. I think she's also had an effect on why I like purple so much. Her gloves and her eyeshadow are just so on point. To get less creepy about it, a friend of mine, she once pointed out that the introduction of Jessica, where she's doing the dance, is like the most expensive scene in the film because they individually illustrated each gem on her dress and the light shining off of it. And apparently their intention was for her to wear that dress the whole movie, but it was improbable with all of the lighting and everything. So they just switched to a similar red dress without the bedazzling. And it's a really good scene. I understand why she loves it. Like, not only is it a fun song, but it was really well put together, the whole animation. I mean, it really was. The other thing that I've heard, I haven't looked into it myself, but I've seen in a couple of YouTube videos about Roger Rabbit, is that this film is actually the revival of animation in the Disney department. Apparently they felt like it was a dying art form, that people weren't going to as many animated Disney films, and this movie was a huge risk because it was, as I understand it, the most expensive film produced in the 80s. And it still managed to get enough attention from people that Disney thought, you know what, let's give animation another chance. And thank goodness for that, because I'm a 90s kid, you know? I wouldn't have gotten my 90s Disney renaissance if it weren't for Roger Rabbit. And I think that in and of itself is 100% the reason why anyone who's a 90s kid should watch Roger Rabbit. Because that film, it saved your childhood, you know? The one critique I guess I can say is weapons don't look good, because they decided to, for the most part, give the cartoons real guns, and you can kind of see the drastic difference between what a real prop gun looks like in the hands of a cartoon as it's just kind of swinging around. Interesting idea, you know. I'm sure it probably saved them some time and it gave them a direction for where to draw their characters, but it doesn't look great. That aside, though, it is a really fun, well-put-together movie with excellent comedic moments. I have many times tried to copy the Roger Rabbit voice. Unfortunately, I have found that I am not an impressionist, so I'm not going to try it here. I might try it in another video if I ever try to do voiceover challenges, but I don't really. That's a Brizzy Voices thing. That's not really a me thing. Yeah, I think talking about 3 characters, I'm not intending to do 2 dudes and a lady. I'm especially not trying to go bad guy, hero character, lady. That I just realized is kind of an accidental setup here. I guess for the next one, I'll try to handle things a little bit differently than that. I'm actually thinking for next week, I'll do a review of Love, Simon, because why not put that out 3 weeks after I saw it? 4 weeks even, because I think I saw it last week, and this is going to come up in 3 weeks now. So, yeah, a month out after everybody's already seen it, I guess I could feel pretty good about that one. Yeah, I'll see you guys then for that, and, I can't wait to see you later this week when I put out other videos, because, hey, I'm doing other things besides just these movie reviews. All right, that was a really awkward ending. Take care, everyone.